As they work together to redesign principal preparation, universities and school districts can call on mentor programs, such as the Ritchie Program for school leaders in Denver.
17 years ago, the superintendent in Denver Public Schools, I think, made a brave move to raise his hand and say, we don't have the pool of leaders that we want to need. So if we want different outcomes for students in our schools, we're going to need a different kind of leader in our schools, and that means we need to look to the leader preparation.
The Dean of the Morgridge College of Education at the University of Denver and the Superintendent of Denver Public Schools really rallied resources around the creation of a new program. This program was definitely connected to leader standards and the best resources at the time, but it was very, very much focused in on what Denver Public Schools needed.
The Ritchie Program has always been very, very fundamentally based on who you are as a leader, how you understand your own personal values, and how you bring those values to bear in creating greater equity for kids.
Today, the Ritchie Program frequently consults with universities interested in redesigning their principal preparation programs.
So in recommending or advising other colleges or universities about how to start a program is really thinking about what are their values, what do they care about, what kinds of leaders do they want to generate from their program for their communities. We believe that leadership development needs to be organic. And so this organic process of developing it within the communities in which your university exists is really important.
Over the past several years, we've been working closely with Florida Atlantic University on a curriculum redesign and also the district partnerships. We've had meetings with university faculty and district partners who have been designing courses.
So as an administrator, as an assistant principal, or as a principal, what are your experiences?
We have served as the thought partner in that process, help them focus in on what these courses will look like and what graduates will be able to know and be able to do when they leave. Also a focus on how courses connect with each other. We've also been working with North Carolina State University. We've engaged in conversations with them about the coherence of their courses, the connections of their coursework to that greater vision of what an NC State leader graduate will be like. We've also engaged in conversations about that value of actively leading within the program instead of just learning about theory.
In Denver, aspiring school leaders in the Ritchie Program are deeply immersed in the daily life of school as they complete their studies.
Every student since the beginning of the program 16 years ago has conducted an organizational diagnosis of the school where they are. And this gives them an opportunity to get to know the school, and even if they do know the school, they're able to see it on a different level. And then that carries throughout the year, that every single one of their projects is twofold in giving them opportunities to have authentic practice of leadership. And it needs to be aligned with what makes sense in the context of the school.
Aspiring principals are also mentored by school leaders who are trained and supported in the role.
Every single one of the projects that the Ritchies participate in through the year, they have leadership activities and actions they're taking in their building, getting feedback from their principal, getting feedback from the cohort instructor, as well as from their peers. The mentor, the cohort instructor, and the participant sit down together at least once a quarter to set specific goals aligned with our school leadership framework, to look at that organizational diagnosis of opportunities in the school, as well as that leadership snapshot of what the leader needs as far as strengths and opportunities, so that it's very responsive to what the leader needs throughout the year, and the mentor supports them every day.
So we're going to just start with, what quote are you connecting to for your reteach and student progress?
Well, my job is to grow and coach and give feedback to the mentee or the intern. I actually find it to be the best way for me to continue to grow as a leader, because I continue with that focus on my Ritchie values, leader of self, and so helping them to grow as leaders always makes me continue to reflect on my own leadership. So when we think about becoming demotivated or demoralized, has a lot to do with like how we show up as mentors. Like, do we show up with our own vulnerabilities? Do we show up with our own mistakes? Or do they see us as somebody who is perfect, because that's what we want them to see? And so I think the more transparent we are about like our ups and downs, the easier it might be for them to bounce back out of that.
You know, when we think about the Ritchie Program creating leaders who are willing to disrupt the status quo, for sure that's around the status quo in terms of what happens inside classrooms and inside schools to support kids, but it's also, you know, pushing against some of the historical systems in the district that frequently are barriers for school leaders to be able to get the kind of results that they're looking for.
Ritchie's really different because it's about transforming you as a leader so that you're equipped to be a leader in schools, to come up with solutions to problems that we don't have answers for.